What's up guys, Glow here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to talk all about what it means to fail in front of your family, friends, and potentially strangers on the internet. So this video is leading up to the Own Your Future Challenge from May 11th to May 15th. It is completely free, so visit fulfillyourfuture.com to hear me speak about this, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Prince EA, Trent Shelton, Jenna Kutcher, and so many other incredible speakers. So I was asking my Instagram and Facebook audience, what is your biggest fear around your future? What scares you about success? And I think 90%, I mean, I suck at math, but I want to say 90% of people said the fear of failure. The fear of just flopping and not succeeding at something that you set out to do. The first thing I want to mention is I did a carousel post on Instagram talking about my 5 greatest failures that led to things that taught me something even better. A lot of times we look at failure as the final destination. Failure is like, that's the end of your story. You suck, go home, boo. I think that's why we fear failure so much. It looks embarrassing. It's a big hit to our ego. And yeah, we have to go back to maybe something that we hate, which is maybe potentially a 9-to-5 job or getting stuck in a situation that, yeah, you just hated. So I want to encourage you to look at failure as like the next step to success. Failure literally catalyzes growth, because it shows you what doesn't work. And a lot of times we look at failure as something that like, it's gonna like defeat us. So I shared on Instagram the other day my 5 biggest failures that basically open doors to other opportunities or help me learn something in the process. For example, I started, gosh, it's embarrassing to talk about it out loud, but the Anonymous Project, it was called Tap 365. It was like a visual blog. It was highly inspired by Brendon Stanton, founder of Humans of New York. And basically I set out on a journey to take a photo of a stranger every single day. And I happened to be in New York at the time, so I was like, perfect. Since I'm in New York, I'll start here. This is a really hard city to talk to people. And then, yeah, as I travel, I'll start to venture out and just, yeah, create more content around the world. But in the process of asking strangers for their photo, asking strangers if I could take their portrait, you have to spark up a conversation. And I remember Brandon talking about in a podcast that he would have to make himself seem as small as possible, which is an interesting way. 'Cause I mean, Brandon's a tall guy. And it's New York, you know, so you can never be too safe. So he had to almost like crouch down and heighten the pitch of his voice to appear as non-threatening as possible. And I found that to actually like really work. And you know, this is my natural tone.
Might sound like a man.
But I would always find myself being like, hey, or hi, hey, like it was, you know, if I wanted to talk to someone normally, I'd be like, hey, what's up? But in New York or in, you know, other places, I had to be like, hey, so, because I realized in this situation, I'm bothering someone. I'm bothering you. I'm interrupting your day-to-day schedule, commute, whatever. So by having a high-pitched voice and by almost coming off as like really bubbly, I set the tone for the conversation. And yes, most people were like, who are you, get away from me. But that rejection, like, again, that might feel like failure. Every time someone said, no, you creep, don't take my photo, it wasn't like, oh my God, I suck at this, I'm never gonna do it. It was like, okay, what worked and what didn't? It's feedback. Failure is feedback. It is a gift. If we learn to see it as something that helps us catalyze and improve and grow, I promise you it's going to open so many doors of opportunity. And I look at my journey over the last 7 years, 85 countries across 6 continents, and a lot of that was solo travel. And a lot of those memories that I made were with people who I just sparked a conversation with on the street, just in a random place. And I'm like, God, that opened the door for me. So I want you guys to start looking at failure as a catalyzer. The second thing I want you to ask yourself is, if every single family member and friend died tomorrow, very morbid, but stick with me. If every family member and friend you had died tomorrow, who then are you afraid to fail in front of? Strangers on the internet? Guys, people are going to be watching and talking anyway. Give them something to talk about. This is going to sound, you know, negative, but I want to be honest. Like, you don't need many friends. You know, I have these thoughts in my head, and then when I say it out loud, I'm like, Glow, you sound so rude, so mean. But you don't need many friends. And here's the truth, I don't want that many friends. I don't have the capacity to be a really good friend to too many people. Like 20 max. I don't have that capacity because my friendship is all inclusive, and I want to give my everything to my friends. And if I try to spread myself thin and do that for 300, 500, 1,000 people, I'm gonna be a really bad friend to all of those people. So I'd rather be a great solid friend to just a handful of people, and those are all the people that matter in my life. And the strangers on the internet who try to tear you down and pick you apart and criticize everything you're doing, let them. They need a hobby. Like, the ratio of consumption versus creation, they're probably consuming more than creating, and that's why they need to just randomly troll people online who are trying to make something of their lives. So don't worry too much about what the haters and the trolls and all those people have to say. The third thing I want to mention is that if you fail at one thing, you can start again, a new thing. Failure is only the end of your story if you stop there. No one like, I have so many failures, no one remembers them because I kept going. Like, if you stop at your failure, then yes, people will remember that, but you have so much life to live. And if you are so caught up in like, what if I fail, what if I fail, what if I fail, not only are you calling that energy in, but if you do and then you stop, yeah, people will remember that. Oh, was that Glow the one that tried to open up a bike shop? And yeah, she went bankrupt in the first year and then she just ran away to the mountains. Sounds very personal, because I would actually run away to the mountains like that. I joke about that being like my escape plan, but that's actually what I would do. But like, if I end up running away to the mountains, like, yes, people will remember the last thing I did, which was fail at that bike shop. But if I fail at the bike shop, take a month off and say, okay, bikes are not my thing, but maybe plants are. And then I open up a plant shop a couple months later and I try it again and I get excited and I show people my energy and I show people what I'm about and I tell people about my business plan and the ethos and the mission and the vision. Like, people get on board with what you're excited about, but you have to let them in. You got to let them in. We keep our visions and our dreams and our goals so precious. It's like, I'm not going to tell anyone of my goals so that when I fail, if I fail, like, no one has to know. And it's like, no, let people know that you failed, because that makes you relatable. That lets people see that, okay, you're a human being. Like, if Glow can fail at something and keep going, like, why can't I? So I just want to encourage you guys and remind you that failure is a part of the journey. It's not the end of your story, especially if you don't stop there. Like, let it continue to be the thing that just keeps you going. Another failure, like, I'm going to link to the Instagram post that I'm talking about, but I'm going to talk about one more failure that was just so eye-opening for me. But as a travel blogger for over 7 years, my audience was begging me to host group trips. Glow, throw a group trip, host something, like, we want to travel with you. So I was like, okay, let's do this thing. Yes, they want to travel with me. Oh my God. And I posted the group trip. The very first one was to Italy. And after weeks, months of promoting and getting people excited about it and posting about it, one person booked. And I kept giving myself like, okay, maybe in 2 more weeks, like, it's getting close to the date, but maybe there's still time. I held on to every fiber of hope that I had, as demoralizing as it felt to see all the people look at my stories and like not swipe up or not book. I was like, what's wrong with me? What's, like, people don't like me. And finally, like, first of all, I ended up going to Italy with the girl. I was like, you know what, she booked. I don't want to just refund her and just ruin her summer. Like, she was excited about Italy. I'm going to go meet up with her. And it was amazing. Like, we got to do so much more because it was just the two of us. Checking in again because we're on our way to eat. So we're back at the same restaurant as last night, and they reserved me under Serena. Okay, that just happened. Limoncello. Oh yeah. They just like brought us the whole bottle. Let's do this with class. It's like not good, but you do it for the culture. And, you know, if that sounds terrifying to meet up with a stranger and travel, it's amazing. Like, I do it all the time now, like, just random meetups. And it's so cool because you'll find that there's so many kindred spirits out there. Anyways, after that trip, I finally was like, okay, if I never ask people why they never booked, I'm just going to hold on to this feeling of rejection forever. And it doesn't feel good. So I posted on my stories. I made a post about it on my Instagram. It's like, hey guys, so what happened? Like, you guys said you wanted a group trip. You know, Italy happened, but only one person books. Like, what's up? And everyone's like, Glow, everyone's been to Italy. Like, Italy is not exotic anymore. The study abroad boom and the like gap year in Europe, like, everyone had done that. And so Italy, you know, Italy is one of those places. Italy, Spain, you know, France, Germany, those were like the cliche places that you go to first, especially when you're like a new traveler. So everyone had been to Italy. It wasn't like, people, when they're traveling with you, when they're making an investment, they probably want to experience a new place. And so, of course, the girl that I went with, she had never been there, so it was new for her. But the rest of my audience, they were like, yeah, we've been there. It wasn't, but we'll look out for more options. And so I started getting more exotic with my options, and I was like, okay, let me do Belize and Zanzibar and Cappadocia, and every single trip that I've hosted since is sold out. So again, feedback is a gift, but getting feedback, you have to like humble yourself and ask your audience, like, hey, what's up? Like, what do you guys want from me? But again, it's this whole journey of entrepreneurship and growth, and just all of it is one big slice of humble pie that you got to eat daily. Once you feel like you figured it out, something happens, you're like, no, this is, throw it all away. It's a part of the journey, okay? But I hope this video encourages you. I'm gonna be having more real talk like this on Clubhouse every day from 12 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna do this from May 1st to May 10th, leading up to the events. Again, go to fulfillyourfuture.com. It is a free event. Tell a friend. I'm going to be speaking on everything about my journey, stories that I've never told before online. So I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you for watching this video. Comment, share, like, subscribe, all of the above, all of the cliche things that will help you grow this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!